Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the graphs of trigonometric ratios and their respective domains and range. We'll talk about domain and range later. First, let's discuss the table given over here. You can see the table given over here. This table includes degree, and if you can see, there are 4 columns. In the first column, these are the angles of the first quadrant: 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree. And in the second column, you can see the angles in second quadrant: 90 degree, 120 degree, 135 degree, 150 degree. And in the third column, the angles are of third quadrant: 180 degree, 210 degree, 225 degree, 240 degree. And in the last column, these are the angles of fourth quadrant: 270 degree, 300 degree, 315 degree, 330 degree, and 360 degree. When we go from 0 degree to 360 degree, it is called as one revolution. After one revolution, the values of trigonometric ratios start repeating. So, we'll discuss the values in these quadrants. Here we have converted these angles which were given in degree into radians. And here are the 6 trigonometric ratios: sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, cot theta, sec theta, and cosec theta. This is the short form for cosec. CSC stands for cosec theta. So when we will put these values over here, the values of sine theta are these. So from here you can see that we are giving all the values, or if we talk about it in radians, I've told you that radians and real numbers are one and the same thing. So if we can give any radian value, that implies we can give any real value to sine as an argument. This theta here is argument. So input is going to be, if we take the function as y equals to sine theta, so here theta is the input, that is the independent variable. And when we supply the value of theta, we get sine theta, and sine theta is equals to y. So y becomes the dependent variable, or you can say the output. So we are giving the input which is any real number. So domain, let's talk about its domain. What is the domain of sine function y equals to sine x? Domain is the all possible values of independent variable for which our dependent variable y is defined. So it is defined for every real value of theta. So here theta belongs to R is the domain. Theta belongs to R is the domain for y equals to sine theta function. Now let's talk about the range. When this function sine theta takes all the possible values in its domain, then the values it can attain, the values which y can attain when theta belongs to R, is referred to as range. So when you will plot these values, you will see the function goes like this. You can observe from here that when we move from 0 degree to 60 degree, in the first quadrant, the value of sine theta increases. So here we can see that when we are going from 0 to pi by 2, here the mid value is pi by 2. So when we are going from 0 to pi by 2, the first quadrant, the value of sine is increasing. Here, when we are going from 90 to 180, the values of sine theta are decreasing. So we can see they are decreasing. And at pi, the value becomes 0. Similarly, it goes on like this. Same is the case when we go in the negative direction. So we can plot the graph of sine. Now you can see the horizontal movement, that is the movement of the graph along the x-axis. This is domain. If you want to see domain of a graph, then you just need to see the horizontal displacement of graph or the movement of graph along the x-axis. So the graph is spread over the real axis, so the domain becomes all real numbers. But for getting the range, you need to see the movement of graph on y-axis. Here you can observe from the table as well as the graph that y is lying between -1 to 1. It can attain the value -1, it can attain the value 1, and it can attain all the values lying between -1 to 1. So its range becomes y belongs to -1 to 1, closed interval. From here also you can see that the value of sine theta never goes above 1 and never goes below -1. And these values gets repeated in the other revolutions also, like in 2 pi to 4 pi, 4 pi to 6 pi, and so on. So this is the domain and range of y equals to sine theta. Now let's talk about the cosine function. Now from this table you can see that cosine function can also take all the real values. So for domain of cosine function, we need to see the displacement or the movement of graph along the x-axis. Here we can see that it can take all real values because the whole graph is spread all over on the real axis. Now if we talk about the first quadrant, when we are going from 0 degree to 90 degree, the value of cos decreases. At 0 the value is 1 and then it decreases. And at pi by 2 the value becomes 0. So here at pi by 2 the value becomes 0. Then after that the value of cos again decreases and becomes negative. So we are below the x-axis. After crossing pi, the value at pi is -1. The value at pi is -1. The value at pi is -1. And after that, the value starts increasing in the negative direction. So here's the graph. It goes like this only. And from the graph only you can see that after the 2 pi interval, the values start repeating. Whatever the value is here at x equals to 0, the same will be the value at 2 pi. So after 2 pi intervals, the values start repeating. So domain was theta belongs to R. Let's talk about the range. For the range, we can see the value of cot theta. All the possible values that can be attained by cos theta. So we can see that cos theta is a bounded function. Sine was also a bounded function. Why? Because its value lies between -1 to 1. Similarly, here also cos theta is a bounded function because its value never goes above +1 and never goes below -1. So its graph is always. So for the domain, we need to see the horizontal movement of graph, and for range, we need to see the vertical movement of graph. So here from the table itself, we know that the value of cos theta never goes above +1 and never goes below -1. And here also we can see that graph always lie between -1 to 1. So the range of this will be y belongs to -1 to 1. It is a bounded function because its value lies from a finite value to some other finite value. So this is the domain and range of cosine function. Now let's talk about the third function, which is y equals to tan theta. These are the values of tan theta. These are the values of tan theta. Now from here we can see, if you talk about tan x is basically equals to sin x upon cos x. Now domain includes all the values of the independent variable for which the dependent variable is defined. But here you can see that cos theta is in denominator. And we know that denominator, for a function to be defined, denominator cannot be equals to 0. That implies here cos theta cannot be equals to 0. This was the table of cos theta. If you remember, this is the table of cos theta. Here you can see that cos theta is 0 at this point and this point, which is pi by 2 and 3 pi by 2. So at all the values which are odd integral multiples of pi by 2, that is pi by 2, 3 pi by 2 and so on, in the other evolutions also, for all those values tan theta will be not defined. So the domain of tan theta will not include all those values of x for which cos of x is not equals to, cos of x equals to 0. So let's write down the domain for this function. So domain can be written like this: all real numbers minus the set of all x such that x is equals to 2n plus 1 times pi by 2, where n is an integer. Domain of tan theta will be all real numbers minus set of all x such that x is equals to 2n plus 1 pi by 2, where n is an integer. 2n plus 1 is an odd number, or because we have taken n belongs to integers, so it is an odd integer multiplied by pi by 2. If we subtract all these values from real numbers, then it forms the domain of our function tan x. Now from here, from the table, you can see that value of tan x goes on increasing when we move from 0 degree to 90 degree in the first quadrant. At 90, the cos theta becomes 0 and the value goes up to plus infinity, a very large value in the positive direction. Very large value in the positive direction. So it goes up to infinity. From here you can see this. At x equals to 0, tan is 0. And when we approach from 0 degree to pi by 2, the value of tan theta goes on increasing. And at the pi by 2, it becomes a very large value in the positive direction. So here's the graph. Now when we go from 90 to 180, the values goes on. Okay, when we go from 90 to 180, the values increases but in negative direction. So we'll start from a negative value which is very large, that is minus infinity. We start from a negative value which is very large and then goes on increasing. At pi we get a 0 value and then again it goes on increasing and reaches up to infinity. So this is the graph of y equals to tan x. So domain is the horizontal movement of this graph. So x can take all the possible values, all the real values except the values at which cos theta becomes 0. So we have excluded these points by taking this set under consideration. And when we will talk about the range, in the range you can see here that the vertical movement or the movement of graph along the y-axis is from minus infinity to plus infinity. That implies it can take all the real values. So the range of this function will be y belongs to R. So we have discussed about the graphs and domain and range of sine theta, cos theta and tan theta. Now we will discuss the graph of cot theta, sec theta and cosec theta. The first graph over here that you can see is the graph of y equals to cot theta. It is the graph of y equals to cot theta. The second graph I'm writing over here is the graph of y equals to cot theta. The second graph you can see over here is the graph of y equals to sec theta. And the third graph that you can see over here is the graph of y equals to cosec theta. Now, from here you can see that when we go from 0 degree to 60 degree, the value of cot theta goes on decreasing and it decreases up to 0. So here you can see also when we are moving from 0 degree to pi by 2, that is 90 degree, the value is decreasing. And at the pi by 2, the value becomes 0. And then it goes on decreasing in the negative direction. Now because cot theta is equals to cos theta upon sin theta, so sin theta will be in the denominator. So at all those values where sin theta is 0, at all those values where sin theta is 0, the value of cot theta is undefined. And when the value is undefined, at that particular value of x, the graph becomes parallel to the axis. So here at x equals to 0, the graph becomes parallel to x equals to 0. Here at x equals to pi, again sine becomes 0, so our graph becomes parallel to the x equals to pi line. So this is the graph of cot theta. Now let's discuss the domain and range of cot theta first. From the graph, we can see that domain of cot theta will be all real numbers except the numbers at which sin theta becomes 0. Why? Because cot theta is equals to cos theta upon sin theta. So at all those values where sin theta becomes 0, we need to exclude those values from the domain. So domain will be R minus set of all x such that x equals to n pi, where n is an integer. Why n pi? Because the value of sin theta becomes 0 at theta equals to 0, pi, 2 pi, minus 2 pi. That is integral multiples of pi. At integral multiples of pi, the values of sine become 0. So we have to exclude all those points. So we have written R minus all those values. If we talk about range, range is the vertical movement of the graph. Here you can see that along the y-axis, the graph goes from minus infinity to plus infinity. So it can take all the real values along the y-axis. So its range will be y belongs to R. Where what was y? Y was equals to cot theta. This is theta belongs to R minus set of all x such that x equals to n pi, where n belongs to integer. So domain is this and range is this. Now let's talk about the second function. From the table we can see that sec theta is undefined at all those values where cos theta is 0. Sec theta is undefined at all those values where cos theta is 0. So at all those points, that is at x equals to pi by 2 and x equals to 3 pi by 2, our graph will become parallel to the axis. So at x equals to pi by 2, you can see the graph is parallel to x equals to pi by 2. And here also at x equals to 3 pi by 2, the graph is parallel to. These values will not be included in the domain because at these points, our function becomes undefined. Now, what happens when we go from 0 to pi by 2? When we go from 0 to pi by 2, the values goes on increasing. So the values go on increasing. And they go on increasing like this and reach a very large positive number, which is infinity. Also, we can observe from the table that the function sec theta cannot take values which are lying between -1 to 1. So our graph is always less than -1 and always greater than +1. But it cannot take any values between -1 to 1. You can also see from the graph over here that it is always lying below. It is always lying below -1 and it is always lying above +1. So let's talk about the domain and range of this function. It was y equals to sec theta, which can be written as 1 upon cos theta. So when we will discuss its domain, we will exclude all those points for which cos theta becomes 0. So theta belongs to R minus set of all x such that x equals to, now we know that cos theta is 0 at odd integral multiples of pi by 2, which can be written as 2n plus 1 times pi by 2, where n belongs to integer. Where n belongs to integer. So this is the domain of sec theta. When we will talk about range, range is the vertical movement of graph. So here we can see that the graph is always below minus 1 or above plus 1. So its range will be minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity. Or we can say that the values which are r minus 1 to 1. If we subtract all those values from r which lie between minus 1 to 1, we get this thing only, which is the range of sec theta function. Similarly, when you will check out for the values of cosec theta y equals to cosec theta is equals to 1 upon sin theta. So when we will discuss about its domain, here theta cannot take all the values for which sin theta becomes 0. And we know that sin theta becomes 0 at x equals to n pi. So its domain will be theta belongs to r minus set of all x such that x equals to n pi and n is an integer. And if we will talk about range, so range is the vertical movement. Here also you can see this point is minus 1 and this point is plus 1. This particular point is plus 1 and this particular point is minus 1. So you can see that the graph lies always below minus 1 and above plus 1. So its range will be r minus 1 to 1. Or you can say minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity. So that's all about domain and range of the trigonometric function.